Yo, what's going on guys, it is Tom and welcome back to a brand new video, and this is episode number 2 of Zero to Hero here on the F1 2016 mod on the F1 2015 game. And as you can see, we are here under the night skies of Bahrain for the second race of the season, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the first episode, which was a very successful return to the series. I can say you guys absolutely smashed your support on the series, and it was a really good response. And if you didn't watch the race, then a spoiler alert, we managed to come in second place. And as you can see, I'm currently applying the setup that we unlocked after the last race. So that was the differential on throttle and the front suspension. So those two little setup tweaks have been applied for this race, and that is the setup that we're going to be running with for the Bahrain Grand Prix. So yeah, overall a really good response. I'm really happy that the first episode went down great. Let's hope this can be a good series from now on. I'm going to try and make this series twice a week, so hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. And if you are, then please do smash that like button. But here we go, 5 red lights, and we are underway for the Bahrain Grand Prix, getting off the line now, making our way through the gears nice and easy here. And now it's a case of waiting for the turn 1 braking point and trying to find your brake, and then also brake as late as you can and try and not have any contact as it, and we do so. And actually Harrianto there's going to squeeze us right onto the bollard there in turn number 1, but we managed to get away with it as we now get hit by Jenson Button there, and we have to go around the outside of him there, and we actually get an illegal overtake, so we're going to have to give that position back to Jenson Button. But I personally didn't feel that was legal because he actually hit me off the track, so I thought I was within my right there to hold that move and continue because I had nowhere else to go. And obviously I think Sainz actually hit Button anyway on the inside, but nevertheless, here we go now on P16 I believe, and we're hunting down the Spanish driver Carlos Sainz as we make our way now into the hairpin. Can we possibly make a move up the inside here? And yes we do, go for a late braking move up the inside, nice and late on the brakes, and you squeeze Sainz out on the exit there, and there's no way back through for him. And Rio Harrianto there ahead of us, a great start from him. I think he went from last or second from last all up to 15th, so an incredible start from him there. But we're right on the back of him now, and can we possibly make a move on him into this next braking zone? As you can see, our straight line speed is not very good here because we still pretty much got a default setup, and the manner is just so much more powerful in a straight line because of that Mercedes power unit, and we just can't keep up with Harrianto in a straight line. But here we go, we're going to try and go around the outside here of the Indonesian driver, and what a move there, clean around the outside with just so much more grip, because even though we haven't got the straight line speed, we've definitely got the cornering speed. And skipping later on to midway through lap 2, and we're on the back of Nico Hulkenberg here, and can we possibly size him up for a move around the outside? Here we go, little bit of a ballsy move here, can we make it stick? And yes we do, a little bit of contact there, Hulkenberg just catching my right rear tyre, but we managed to get away unscathed and make the move stick there for P14 I believe. So a very good overtake on the German, and then we're now on the back of Danny Kvyat. So the Toro Rosso is having a bit of a poor race so far with Carlos Sainz down in 17th, but we're going to go up the inside of the Russian driver here, making the move stick just about, running a little bit wide. And don't forget guys, we are running the strict corner cutting settings, so obviously I've got to be very careful here to not extend the corners too much and keep it within the limits of the race. So as you can see, we just got past Danny Kvyat, and we're now on the back of Julian Palmer in the Renault. And if there is a car that we can overtake in a straight line, it's got to be this Renault, because the Renault in a straight line is absolutely terrible. And indeed this is the case. As you see, you're getting a massive slipstream here on the British driver. We're just going to pull to the inside and try and outbrake him into turn number 1. He comes back at us around the outside, but we've got the better racing line, and we just take the inside line and make the move stick for P12. And overall so far so good this race. Couple laps in, we're making slow progress but definite progress. And as you can see on lap 3, we've got a yellow flag here, and oh my god, there's been a huge crash, absolutely massive crash here, and we've got up to P5, and there's Lewis Hamilton who's recovering from a spin, and we've just dropped back to P6 temporarily. But a massive crash there. We're gonna have to look at a replay of that quickly, because what the hell's just going on there? That's absolutely unbelievable. I've never seen nothing like that before. And looking at a replay, you can see Felipe Massa here has caught up to Alonso, and I think he's got a right rear puncture, and then Hamilton crashes into him, and there's all sorts of carnage behind. As you can see, everybody crashes into each other, and I just go around the outside, a bit of a illegal move there, but I had nowhere else to go, and I had to go to the outside onto the dirt. And we managed to make the move there, and meanwhile there's still more contact going on behind. As you can see, the Saubers there and the Manners and the Toro Rosso all going for another spin. So Alonso there with a puncture causing all sorts of problems, and overall a very huge incident which has promoted us all the way up into P6 now. So we are right in this race, and so far we've had 2 races. Last time in Australia we had the rain, and this time we've had the massive crash, which has really put us right in the mix for this race for a good result. And meanwhile we've gone up the inside of Lewis Hamilton, and we are now up into P5 and on the back of Valtteri Bottas. And I've got to say, so far against these front runners on these worn tyres, my pace was not very good and I was struggling to keep up with Bottas, and meanwhile Hamilton was all over the back of him, making himself huge in my mirrors. And here he goes up the inside of turn number 4. Can he make it stick? I'm going to try and hang it around the outside. I'm going to give a good old squeeze to the inside here, but Lewis keeps his foot buried in the throttle as we go around the outside, and there's almost contact there. I have to steer off the road to make sure I avoid Hamilton. Almost collect the DHL sign there, and Hamilton is now on my outside. And just incredible action, incredible just turn of events and a sequence of events here, and it's all kicking off at Bahrain. And Hamilton's got past us here. We're going to get the good old switchback on him into this very tricky left-hander here, and we make it stick. And Ricciardo as well also makes the move. So all sorts of action here at Bahrain, and an incredible race so far, all just because that crash has just triggered everything. And so far, as you can see, we've got the 2 stoppers who actually come. Sorry, we've got 3 stoppers who are coming in to the pit lane, and people like me who are on a 2-stop strategy. I'm going to go long this race to try and hope that my strategy pays off. But meanwhile, Hamilton there came out of nowhere with a massive dive bomb, and we're going to look at a replay of that because as you can see, Hamilton's miles back at this point, and I was caught napping, and I didn't expect him to go for it. But look at this, he just completely brakes super late there, almost like a glitch in the AI, because you can see his tyres are changing, and his wheel just moved a lot. So I've done a bit of a funny one there, but not one that I expected from the AI, and Hamilton just went for the colossal dive bomb. Luckily enough, I saw him coming, otherwise that could have been just a horrific crash. But as you can see, on lap 10 now, we are coming in to the pit stop for our first one of the race, and it's going to be a pit stop battle here between both of the Williams and I think Red Bull and Lewis Hamilton. So we're all in the pit lane, and we're all on a 2-stop strategy in theory. But as you can see, I've gone onto the white wall medium tyres, similar to Australia. I'm deciding to get the slower tyre out of the way early. Now obviously, unlike Australia, there's no rain expected here. I'm doing it purely for the race sake. So the medium is the slower tyre, so I want to get this one out of the way first, save some fuel in the process, and then really go on a charge at the end on the soft tyre, because I feel like my car is not very competitive around here. So I'm going to need the best tyres I can possibly have. And meanwhile, on lap 12 now, Lewis Hamilton has overtaken us here with a massive amount of DRS and just incredible straight line speed. You just can't compete with that, because obviously the default setup is really hampering us in a straight line. And moving later on lap 14, we have a bit of a lock up into the hairpin, and that's allowed Ricciardo to pull alongside us here as we go side by side down the back straight now. And it's going to be a question of who can get the moves done before the next break is there. We're going to go and try to go to the outside, switch back on Ricciardo here, just about there. There we go, get a lovely little switch back, try and pick up the traction side by side still, as we now try and hang it around the outside of the Honey Badger. Can we make it stick here, side by side stuff still? And we're going to try and prepare for another switch back here as Ricciardo runs a little bit deep. We're going to cut back with him, but we just don't have the traction on the medium tyres to keep up with him. And Ricciardo stays ahead for now, but we're going to pull up the slipstream, and we're actually going to wait here, do the wily old fox move, and literally just wait. Be very wise about this and wait for the DRS. So we just stay behind Ricciardo, and now we should be able to pick him off now with the DRS assistance. And we do just run a little bit wider. The curb spat me off the track, but now we're going to pick off Ricciardo nice and easily there in a straight line, and that is us back up into P5. And now P3, because we've got some cars in the pit lane. So those who are on a 3-stop are on their 2nd stop of the race, whereas I've got a couple laps left to go yet on this stint, and I'm currently in P2, but I'm about to get molested here by Rosberg. So what I'll do is I decided to let Vettel through here, because there's no point in me fighting Vettel, especially because Rosberg is the championship leader at the moment. So in terms of the constructors, I'm more than happy for Vettel to go after Rosberg, because that would be the best thing for the team. So I let Vettel through, because at the end of the day I didn't have the pace, and those two went off into the distance to have a little bit of a battle. But meanwhile, I'm coming in for my final stop of the race here, and we're going to go into a set of soft tyres, and straight off the go, as soon as we leave the pit lane here, we're going to crank up into rich mix, and we're going to try and pump in some decent lap times and really try and make a charge for this race win, because I really feel like with these soft tyres, if we've got the pace, I think we can win this race, because we've got a very good chance of pulling that off here at Bahrain. So fingers crossed, if we can find some pace on these softs, we could have a massive race on our hands. And we leave the pit lane there and rejoin in P6, and skipping later on to the end of lap 21. As you can see, we've got cars in the pit lane here, which promotes us up into P4, and it could be soon to be P3, as there's Sebastian Vettel, the guy who I let through a couple of laps ago. He's just coming out of the pit lane now on a set of medium tyres, and we're just going to go clean around the outside of turn 1 on the nice warm soft tyres. And pretty much it's only Rosberg and I think Felipe Massa to overtake for a race win here. So the strategy has come up absolute trumps for us. Our medium tyre pace was pretty decent, and it's brought us right into contention here for these last few laps of the Grand Prix on the soft tyres. As you see, we've got Nico Rosberg here, and we're lining him up for a move. He's on the mediums, I'm on the softs, and we're going to go up the inside off the final corner here, and also be the ones who pick up the DRS down the pit strip, because we obviously had we was further behind at the detection point, and Rosberg ran really wide there at the final corner. So we've pretty much got a free run now at Felipe Massa, setting the fastest lap of the race, and we are really setting this track alight now. And as you can see, we're on the back of Massa now, speaking of the devil himself, on the end of lap 24 onto the start of lap lap 25, and we should be able to pick him off here quite easily with a little bit of DRS, getting a nice run out the final corner now. As you can see, our straight line speed there really comes into play as we actually drop behind Massa there, but thanks to DRS, it's going to bring us right back into play here, side by side now, into turn number 1, onto the brakes. Who's going to break the latest? We just about edge Massa out, and we get the move done, and we are into the lead of the race somehow. So really, from a race that I was not expecting to even get a podium from, we're into the lead because of that massive crash earlier on. And meanwhile, Rosberg is actually he's got other ideas, as he actually re-overtakes us on lap 27 on the medium tyres. And now it's a case of oh my god, wait, oh no, it's all gone wrong. We've lost the rear end out of turn 3, and that is a huge incident because we're down to P4 and there's only a couple laps left in the Grand Prix. So I think we might have just messed up a podium. I was saying that Rosberg had other ideas, and that overall the soft tyres were starting to wear off a little bit, and the mediums was just starting to come into their zone, and it looks like we've just thrown away a race win here. But meanwhile, going on to the last lap of the race, we're trying to salvage a podium here, pushing really hard, and we're going to try and unlock Massa for a move here as we go for the incredible late dive in, just breaking move into turn 1, making the move stick there, and Massa has no response for us, and we make the move there for P3 and the podium position. And at the end of the day, that was the best we could have hoped for considering the incidents. And overall, to be fair, I shouldn't have won the race anyway because of the crash, but as you can see, we come along and we get a pretty decent 15 points and a 3rd place podium, which does get us, I think, 1 upgrade. So overall, that is a very slow result for us, and I think the team, and just overall, I think you guys will be quite happy with that one, because but Australia and Bahrain, 2 tracks that, you know, you need a good car underneath you, and unfortunately with the default setup, this Ferrari can only be so good, and I can't really compete with my teammate or the Mercedes. So I'm really just trying to be the best of the rest, so to speak, and try and beat the Williams and the Red Bulls and hope for a possible podium, which I have done so far. Obviously 2 podiums in 2 races, but overall solid result. Rosberg takes his 2nd win of the season and puts himself on 50 points for the championship, and this time Vettel actually finishes ahead of me, so I believe both of us on equal points. But looking at the final race results, we got obviously the podium finishes, and then Ricciardo in 4th place with Massa and Bottas in 5th and 6th, then Kvyat in 7th in the Toro Rosso. They're decent result for him, with Checo Perez in 8th, Carlos Sainz in 9th, also a good result for him, and Nico Hulkenberg in 10th. And then Hamilton is not in the top 10, so he must have DNF, because I'm pretty sure I saw 19 runners, or unless Hamilton had a massive problem. But overall, a very disappointing race for the British driver and the defending champion. So Lewis is going to really want to just get his season back on track, just like in real life. So Lewis is really up against it so far, and his teammate has got 2 wins out of 2. But looking at the Drivers' Championship, as you can see, me and Vettel are absolutely bang equal on points, with Rosberg 17 points ahead, and Lewis there all the way down in P7 with only 8 points for the season. So a very disappointing start for him, with both of the Williams and Daniel Ricciardo ahead of him. So Lewis has got a lot of work to do on the rest of this season. And looking at a couple of other drivers, Kevin Magnussen there in P8, who's also done a pretty good season so far, and both of the Toro Rossos in the top 10. And finally, look at the constructors, Ferrari take the lead from Mercedes. So good stuff from me and Seb, really just putting the work in and overtaking Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton there, especially because Lewis's poor start to the season, and we managed to capitalise on that by taking the lead in the constructors. But what does this result mean that we just got this race? Well, it's 3rd place, so that means 1 spin of the wheel and 1 upgrade for the next race. So we're going to spin the wheel now, and fingers crossed we can get something that is going to really help us out and really start to mount a serious charge for consistent race wins. And spinning the wheel now, we're going to see what we get, and it is going to land on the no first lap overtakes. So that is not actually an upgrade, that's just a wild card. So the wheel itself, I designed it so it's not all good stuff. There's a couple of wild cards in there to make the series interesting, and that means that for the next race in China, I've got no car upgrade, but I can't make no first lap overtakes either. So that is going to be a very, very interesting scenario. So basically, all of my overtaking is going to have to be done on the track and not abusing the AI through the first couple of corners. So that's going to be very interesting, and hopefully you guys look forward to it. And if you have enjoyed this episode of Zero to Hero, then please do smash that like button, guys. I would really, really appreciate it. I love this series, and hopefully you guys do love it as well. Like I said, from now on I'm going to try and do 2 a week. That's going to be my aim. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I can pull that off. And also, if you're new on here, please be sure to subscribe to my channel if you're new, and if you want to follow my Twitter at Tom97HD, there's links in the description. But yeah, guys, that's about it for this video. I've been Tom97HD, and I'll see you on my next one very soon. Goodbye.